So as you guys know, the Cleveland Cavaliers have been one of the best teams. Fucking voice is going out. Jesus Christ. I've recorded too many videos today, man. The Cleveland Cavaliers are one of the best teams in the NBA. I am also a very big Cleveland Cavaliers fan, and watching the games, even though we are one of the best, it is clear to see there are a couple of things that I think need fixing / tweaking ahead of the trade deadline, and what I think the Cavaliers need to do to maybe take that next step into being potentially a championship team. Now, in this video, I will be talking about players who I think the Cavaliers should, of course, maybe try and trade for, what they'll have to give up, and what are the positions that need fixing the most. First of all, the Cavaliers need a new starting small forward. Now, if you're going to want to win an NBA championship, it's not that good that one of the things that you need to fill in is a starting position, which I think is an issue. The Cavaliers still don't know who they want as their starting small forward. Originally, before the season started, it was Caris LeVert, but Caris LeVert has had a lot of rough games this season, and it looks like he's overall better off the bench, so the Cavaliers moved him there. Then the Cavaliers tried Lamar Stevens and Dean Wade. Dean Wade looked really good and showed a lot of promise from three-point shooting, but unfortunately got injured. Lamar Stevens, of course, has shown a lot of promise as well on the defensive end, but just seems to lack some offense and doesn't exactly get maybe the respect and treatment he might need to deserve from the three-point line, with even players leaving him open sometimes. And as the Brooklyn Nets especially did it, it was one of the big targets for them to not only leave him open, but Okoro open, which leads me off to the fourth and final guy who's pretty much been the starting small forward, and that's Isaac Okoro. Okoro has started some games as well, and let's just say Okoro is probably one of the best defenders in the NBA, but possibly nearly a top 10 worst shooter in the NBA. This guy has literally got big men that can shoot better than him. Like, I'm pretty sure there was a season JaVale McGee shot like, not JaVale McGee, Andre Drummond shot like 12 threes and made like 4 of them or something, or 5 of them, like something weird. A lot of these centers have the ability to shoot threes, but don't because they know they're pretty bad. Okoro, though, doesn't have that ability. He needs to shoot threes because of his position, and yeah, I'm pretty sure he started off the season like 0.6%. Luckily, it's improved, but he is a very, very bad shooter, and he's a very good defender at the end of the day, so he somewhat makes up for it there. But when he's facing teams like Brooklyn, who are deliberately leaving Lamar Stevens and Isaac Okoro open, yeah, it's a concern. You need a new starting small forward. My honest opinion is I think Dean Wade can do the job. I'm actually a pretty big Dean Wade fan. The issue is there are games where Dean Wade can't get open and will just score 0 and not really do much. So yeah, it's a little bit of an issue when we do look at that. But there, luckily for the Cavaliers, there have been a ton of small forwards that you can possibly go and trade for, and one of them being Jay Crowder. I genuinely believe Jay Crowder would be an awesome fit for the Cleveland Cavaliers. I know some people said he played for him before and he didn't do too well, but I actually really like Jay Crowder and what he was able to do with the Phoenix Suns not so long ago. Unfortunately for them, he has sat the season out because they didn't guarantee him a starting spot. And we know for some reason when Crowder doesn't get to start, he usually throws a temper tantrum and just decides to leave. Miami Heat, he sat out the whole... he just sat out and said, no, I'm not coming back in free agency. I don't think he participated to anything after the season was over, which makes me think, yeah, it's a good indication this guy probably wasn't going to come back. For some reason, Miami decided to start PJ Tucker over him, which was a bad decision from the start. PJ Tucker is just, yeah, I don't really rate him that much. But when we do look at it, Jay Crowder last season was averaging 9.5 points per game, 5.5 rebounds on 35% from 3. The season before that, he was on 39% from 3 and scoring 10 points per game. My thing is with Jay Crowder, he's usually a very good three-point shooter, usually shoots around 37 to 39% for his career. And my thing is he's a really, really good defender. He's the type of guy who can guard a LeBron and can guard a Jason Tatum, which a lot of the Cavaliers players haven't necessarily been able to do. In my opinion, he's a bit of a mix of Lamar Stevens and Dean Wade kind of combined into one. He's got the shooting of Dean Wade, but he's got the defense of Lamar Stevens. And I think you're kind of meeting in the middle by getting him. I think it makes a lot of sense to do it. And I would, if I was the Cavaliers. What would I trade up is a little bit more difficult though. Phoenix don't exactly want, I don't know if they need a whole lot out of him because he's not playing. You could honestly maybe get away with asking literally for picks in back. You could probably say, we'll give you Jetty Osman and we want Jay Crowder and 2 second-round picks back. Phoenix are of course going to do that. Jetty Osman's a really nice solid role player. He's been good for the Cavaliers this season. I'd hate to see him go, but it might be a sacrifice that the Cavaliers need to make, and Phoenix would love him. And I think Cavaliers with Jay Crowder, he could come and start, hopefully shoot 38% for us this season. Hopefully he's been staying fit and healthy while he's been sitting out. And again, I think it would actually make sense. Another option might actually be like a PJ Washington from the Hornets. It doesn't look like they want to extend him. They have been all over the place this season. They are one of the worst teams in the league. I know PJ Washington's more of a power forward, but I think with the right circumstances can fit on the Cavaliers at that small forward position. He's actually having a pretty decent season as well, averaging around 15 points, 5 rebounds on around 34% from 3. His 3-point percentage has been down, but that's because he's had to become a shot creator because literally Washington just sucked. Not Washington, sorry, Charlotte just sucked. But in saying this, they really apparently don't want to extend him, which is not a good sign for them in value. I would normally say PJ Washington is worth a first-round pick, but with them already saying they don't want to extend the guy, and there's already been some issues there, I honestly think that you could probably offer Jetty Osman, Dylan Windler, and 2 second-round picks, and maybe that goes through. Again, I think Hornets would actually pretty much like that deal as well. It'd be much cheaper than signing Washington. He's probably going to be wanting about $15 million a year. With the Cavaliers owner being rich as, we can probably afford that. So it'd actually be a pretty interesting one. If he can get his shooting back up, which I think he would, I think you're bringing in an 11-point per game type of dude at that small forward who can play decent defense and shoot some nice threes. He's been noted to be a pretty good shooter in the past, so I wouldn't exactly put that behind him. There's also a couple other players here and there. One has been listed up who you might actually have to give a first-round pick up for. Don't know how the Cavaliers are going to make this one up, and that's why I think this is the least likely. Saddiq Bey. Saddiq Bey has reportedly been put on the trade deadline. What is the word for it? Detroit want to trade him is what I'm trying to say. There's the rumor that's been going around. I don't know if they don't want to extend him. He hasn't been that great for him. I think that his 3-point percentage has been down as well. He'd be a cool one, but I still think you got to give up a first-round pick for him. I still think Saddiq Bey is good enough for it. He has the ability to go off for 30 as well. He'd be awesome on the Cavaliers, but I don't want to talk about him too much because they need to give up a first. And I'm not sure if the Cavaliers can do that. I think it might be blocked by Stipend rule. I'm not even too sure. If not, maybe go for it. I don't even know. But yeah, that's it. And then again, you can address that. The small forward shouldn't be too hard to fix. I think Jay Crowder's the cheap one. That could actually be really nice for the Cavaliers. He's got to fit in with the chemistry though, and will he? I'm not exactly too sure. The other thing is the Cavaliers desperately need a backup big. Robin Lopez sucks. Like, he's genuinely cheeks. He's not very good. An option that I thought would have been good was DeMarcus Cousins, but that seems to kind of fit in the same thing as Jay Crowder. DeMarcus Cousins really wants to start in the NBA. It's been very, very obvious. There was a report saying that the Denver Nuggets liked what they saw out of him and wanted to offer him a starting role. Not a starting role, sorry, a backup role. But again, he declined that and didn't come back to him. There's been reports there's been a couple teams out there that have offered him backup roles, and he's just declined it. The closest we've seen him sign to a team was when, I think, Dwight signed with the... what country was it? I can't even remember. He signed with a Asian country's team, and this and that. And I think he's getting like up in the millions or something to go play for them, and he starts and is very, very good. With DeMarcus Cousins, there's been a rumor that it's the same league was offering him a contract where he'd start and get as much that he would to play NBA. So, yeah, I think he's either going to take that or something, because I don't think he wants to play back up in the NBA. He's been very against it. I would have said he'd been good on the Cavs, but I don't think he wants to. And that's even evident by him declining that Denver deal. Again, he can literally go start in an Asian league and make the exact same amount of money, and he'll be way better. He'll probably have more fun than just playing the backup role. And that's what I think he is ultimately looking at. Again, there's not exactly too many options when DeAndre Jordan is still in the league. That's when you know, like, the backup centers, aren't very good. So, if I was the Cavaliers, I'd honestly look elsewhere. I'd look at the Euro leagues and stuff like that. And look at even the Australian league. See if there's a dude like Jock Landale out there who could come play backup center for you. He's doing it right now in Phoenix, and he's been absolutely awesome. And if they move on for Ayton, there's even rumors he might start in Phoenix. So, Cavaliers can always look at that. I think that's the best option. But yeah, Robin Lopez, he hasn't been good for us. Literally, they played Diakite, a two-way player, over him because Diakite has played way better. He's not good, and the Cavaliers need to fix the issue, I think. But of course, if you haven't already, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Comment your thoughts and opinions down below. If you're the Cleveland Cavaliers, would you, of course, be maybe looking to try and trade, you know, for a dude that I've mentioned in this video? What do you think's the biggest need right now for the Cavaliers? And it is a backup center or starting small forward, like I've said it is. Definitely let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to my IRL/Loan channel and my gaming channel and my podcast channel as well if you haven't already. Links for them will be in the description down below. But as I was saying, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.